Some of this high prey drive is instinct. When we look at dogs who have this, some of it's instinct, some of it is actually learned. And this is where we come in. This is where we screw things up, okay? Learned prey drive, however, is not all bad. It's used for any dogs who do bite work, like police canines and protection dogs. Search and rescue dogs, they use a high prey drive for that. For rewards, scent detection dogs, also they use high prey drive toys for rewarding these scent detection dogs, like narc dogs, etc. But this learning is in a controlled environment, and it's directed towards certain types of toys or situations. So it's very controlled, it's very structured, and that's acceptable. Learned high prey drive is not so good for pet dogs when it's accidental because of the improper play with toys. I use chew toys for Yonkers. Okay, she's now a whole 9 weeks old. She's getting all tall and big and muscular, etc. She's just slightly over 2 pounds. Anyway, because she is teething, right? So I use chew toys for her because she's teething. She needs that to kind of like help with the whole discomfort of her teeth. And because I need to teach her to divert her energy to specific objects rather than random objects. For instance, I will have her play with her two chew toys prior to eating, which directs the chew toy as a simulation for hunting, and then the consumption is actually the food I provide, not the toy. I don't let her tear the toy up into little shreds before we stop it. I stop the dogs when they start shredding it, not just because I don't want them to swallow the contents, but I also don't want them to get the satisfaction of actually fully killing it. I just want to stimulate them and then move on to food or training to get them satisfied with the finish of the hunt, which is actually consuming the food, right? So I will offer her by hand after she gets all worn out a little bit with the chewing. I offer her by hand or in a bowl while being in her presence the food. And oftentimes I'll have a cup of coffee or something in my mouth, so I will actually be the alpha where I am getting food, quote unquote, in this case coffee, before and while she is eating. And that is the way I make sure that she understands the hierarchy and that it's a very structured thing. She's not hunting and killing on her own and therefore she's the boss. She's hunting with me because I'm in her presence and playing with her and stimulating the hunting and chewing, and then she and I get the rewards, but I get it first because I get my coffee first, and then she gets to eat in my presence. She gets the leftovers, quote unquote. I also use the toy as a way to positively divert Yonkers away from objects I don't want her chewing, like my shoes, the furniture. So using toys as a more rewarding option than your furniture in terms of chewing is a way to teach boundaries. That's a proper use of toys. And I'll explain why this is important. I keep repeating this because there's an improper way to use the toys. So teaching boundaries, using it as a reward, is an awesome way to use toys in their presence with them. I also pay attention that if she gets to the point of excitement where she moves on from toy to random objects or toy to toy to toy to toy, like I've seen so many dogs do and so many owners just let their dogs do and get crazy, I put her in her pen or crate for nap time. She's too excited, she's out of control, and I want to teach her social filters while using negative punishment to keep her from getting into the habit of going after my stuff. When a dog goes from toy to toy to toy to toy to toy, that is called possessiveness. That's not cute. It looks funny to you, but it's possessiveness, and I do not want Yonkers to get possessive out of this high that she's getting from chewing. So I actually just stop her. And negative punishment, y'all who are got your panties twisted up into a thong right now, means that you are removing something positive, i.e. getting to hang out with the pack and with the toys, to decrease the behavior of possessiveness. So I put her in the crate. There's no correction or anything. I just stop it and put her in the crate. That's it. Or put her in the pen. So here's the key with using toys, especially ones that are as inspiring as squeaky toys. You must use them as part of interacting with the alpha. Period. The toys must be earned as a reward or used as a reward to maintain boundaries. Period. Some of the worst behaviors I see among possessive and obsessive dogs is due to the fact that many pet owners think that they are obligated to leave out as many toys as possible to be messed with at will by the dogs. It's a sort of an inanimate babysitter, sort of like TV is for children. You know, they just stick the kids in front of the TV, stick the dogs in front of the toys. They expect them to babysit themselves. Here's what happens. Leaving a plethora of toys out for your dogs to indulge whenever However, teaches your dog to be obsessed with them, be competitive for them, and teach them to be spoiled and belligerent depending on how much they love toys. All this is on a scale, of course, based on their prey drive, right? So, rather, I think you should just leave 0 to 2 toys out for the random use, depending on your dog. If you have a very possessive dog, a very high prey drive motivated, there should be no toys out except for you to be interacting with them. And if you can't be watching what they're doing, they go in the pen or a crate and until you directly interact with them. Toys should be a reward. Toys should be about interacting with you. Okay, that is after you've taught, of course, all this, your dogs to respect boundaries if you're leaving some toys out at all. Well, for example, once you've been excited about chewing this toy, this is me talking to youngers, you don't move on to another object like my couch, or you don't rip the unholy crap out of a toy and eat it. And the most beautiful of all toy interactions, in my opinion, is they really want to play with the toy only with you, as a reward for fetching, as part of your affection after a focused walk together. That's really, to me, like the best options. If you're not using toys itself for training, as a reward for training, that's the way you use it. A lot of my dogs that I've raised, they don't want to play with a toy unless I'm interacting with them, unless they're really young like Yonkers, and she's just kind of crazy. She's 9 weeks, so I'll let her get away with that. But in terms of like my adult dogs, they don't want to play with a toy unless it's us interacting, and I think that's your best option. Especially when you deal in high prey drive dogs, you need to make sure that this is about a controlled reward situation. It is work, by the way, to go hunting for you. It's work in the dog world. To you, it's cute, it's time to take pictures, etc. It makes you laugh, but it's actually work for them. So you want to make sure that you keep it in that context for the dogs. Otherwise, you've messed up their balance. So that leads me to this. Another big mistake dog owners do by accident is that when they offer a toy or play with a toy, they add more excitement to the process of hunting and killing the prey moment, that special moment, with high-pitched voices and intense energy. Like, look at the little puppy. Look at them, like, play with the dogs. Oh, you love that squeaky toys. Oh, you don't have squeaky toys. Oh, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. And it just makes them freaking crazy. It makes me crazy, too, if I see it. I want to have to bite my tongue. But the deal is that when you add that much more excitement and reward them even more for this, like, crazy drive zone that I even saw a little 9-week-old Yonkers go into, you are now intensifying their desire to kill and hunt on their own and destroy stuff, including your stuff when you leave the house. Just saying. Not a good idea. Make it nice and calm. Good job. I respond with, good job. Kind of mellow and sweet, but not really like adding excitement to the situation. Good job. Every time I divert her, Yonkers to a toy instead of my shoe or whatever. Good job. So it's a job in their head, so keep it that way. I know you're excited because it looks cute that they're doing it, but to them it's serious business. So pretend like you understand it's serious. Just lie to your dog and pretend that you understand it. This is serious business and you're proud of them, but don't like lose your shit about this, okay? Just, you're going to make yourself pee on yourself over your dog doing normal dog stuff, and it's not really appropriate. It may not help them very much. It might add some obsessive compulsive behaviors to them. So act like this is a job for you and don't get all squirrely, increasing the hormonal high your dog gets with interacting with the toy. Keep it chill. Like, of course we chew the toy. It's kind of going to be nonchalant but necessary, like flushing the toilet. So, this is the kind of thing that I deal with all the time. I just want you to prevent the situation. If you tend to leave tons of freaking toys everywhere and in their crate and all that stuff, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're seriously setting yourself up for failure. 1 or 2, maybe 2 different textures. I always tell people, if you want to have toys for your dogs, go ahead and get a big old basket of toys, but hide it, like put it in a closet, and then pick out 2 different kinds of toys for that day. Let them play with that. Come home the next day, you switch out 2 other toys. To them, it's brand new because they haven't seen it for at least a day. You don't have to buy a whole bunch of new toys all the time. It could be the ratty ones from last week, but you just switched out from the day before, and now you're keeping it fresh, and you don't have to, get all spoily and stuff and spend a lot of money unless you just want an excuse to shop, which is possible. So, that's my deal with the squeaky thing. So, for those of you who are squeamish about this, too bad. You have to understand that this is natural behavior, kind of like eating for people and dogs is kind of and taking a shit once in a while. That's kind of natural behavior too. So your dog's a hunter. Oh, by the way, squeaky toys can work on cats too. Just for those of you who have cats, if you need their attention, it kind of works, especially if they're small, because they go after what? Rats and mice and things like that. So their instinct is built a little differently. It's conveniently genetically coded for a slightly different pitch. So you can use that for your little small, kitty cats as well, to get their attention or to reward them or get them excited. So either that or I have very weird cats. It's possible. So watch out for those squeaky toys. Work with them appropriately. And don't let your dog, by the way, ever get to the point where they actually tear it apart and get the squeaker out and get the stuffing out. One, for safety. Two, it will lead to them having to, it's kind of like getting that bigger high. If they get all the way to the climax, basically, they're just going to keep trying to get a bigger fix and a bigger fix and a bigger fix. So you want to keep it nice and controlled where they don't lose their mind to either rip the shit out of the toy and consume some of it, or they go from toy to toy to toy to toy, or toy to toy to object to object to object, and all that sort of stuff, like stealing your socks and stuff. So, just bottom line, you've got to interact with your dog with the squeaky toy. It's got to be part of you hunting together, even though you're just sitting there sipping coffee and barely moving the toy. That's enough. That'll work. Okay, so that's it with what the squeak, man. Oh yeah. So now I have to say, what do I have to say about? Oh, if you need to get more information, or if you have any questions, go on to my Facebook page, That Dog Training Show with Tanya Yarbrough. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I leave crazy pictures of either what I'm eating, because I have celiac disease and I seem to share that with everybody, or the pets, etc., what's going on. You can, on Instagram is at That Dog Training Show, and on Twitter, Kazzy Dog Train, Kazzi, dog, Train, because there's no more room for the training part, and I didn't know that. So, I will talk to you all next week, but in the meantime, do remember that to love is to serve in the dog world, so give your dog little opportunities to serve you every day in little ways, and in return, you have served them well. Talk to you later. Bye.